Hello there, Sir from 17 once again, introducing you to my Rage Nightmare difficulty video walkthrough. This is mission 1, and I'm calling it Quelling the Bandits, because we have to quell the bandit threat. And as soon as you come back from, all the introductory stuff, you're going to talk to John Goodman there, and you're going to be given your first weapon of the game, which is this pistol. And it's actually a lot more useful than I ever gave it credit for when I first played, because on my first run through, which I did the other day, I started on Nightmare, and the pistol really pissed me off because A, I wasn't really good at the game at the time, and B, I didn't have the feel for it. I'd not learnt it, I'd not, gone through a couple of hours and got the feel for the game right, so I was getting my ass kicked with it. I just thought it was weak and annoying. But this pistol, when used with the correct ammunition, can be very, very powerful. It's actually a really useful weapon that I'm going to be using on this guide a hell of a lot more than I did on my playthrough. And it's kind of the story of Rage. If you have the correct ammo for the correct situation, you can definitely make your life much easier. And because this game has a very light, crafting mechanic where you can make ammunition, you can make certain items, certain weapons and so on, it can make it a lot easier than it should be. And if you know what you're doing, you can focus on the stuff that you're going to be using and stay away from the stuff that you're not going to be using. So this is Rage, and the first thing you'll notice here is I'm on a quad bike. There is a lot of driving in this game. The driving itself is not too bad. The only real problem is you're going to be taking on bandits when you're driving, and towards the end of the game they can be very lethal. And I'm not going to be doing any races to power my vehicle up. I'm only going to be doing the mandatory races to push the story forward, which is not the optimum way to do it, because your car, if you upgrade it early and if you can get it really powerful, you can kick a lot of ass, but it's not what I'm going to be doing, so just a word of warning to people. And this is a Bethesda game, so of course we will be looting corpses. The loot system on here, doesn't matter what it is, pick it up. That's how it works. There is no weight to it. There is no bullshit statistic that will stop you from carrying too much stuff. And all it will do is work towards filling your bank account, because a lot of the stuff you pick up you don't even do anything with. All its purpose is to be sold. And you want to be checking every corner you can. You want to be picking up every single piece of garbage that you find, because you never know if it's going to be able to make you craft something unique, or if you can sell it for a high price. But this is the Ghost Hideout, and the ghosts are, I believe they're one of the many bands of mutant / bandits, and you can generally tell which are mutants and which are humans, because the mutants tend to be melee focused. They tend to rush you like bulls. Some of them are obviously more grotesque than others. These I think are just a bunch of bandits that have very similar capabilities to the standard mutants. And this stuff is pretty simple. This is your introduction to the game. This is you using a pistol, running around some environments and picking some stuff up, so it's pretty simple. One word of warning, the game does work off an armor system, where later on you will find heavier armor and better armor upgrades, which will enable your character to take more damage. And early on, you don't take too many hits. If your screen starts to get red around the outside of it, this is not like your other standard shooters where you can still kind of be, cocky and still pop out and do damage. On this game, you'll probably just go down and end up using that silly defibrillator, so you want to get in cover and wait it out. If you don't want to wait it out, there is an interesting mechanic known as Bandages, which are a cool idea in theory, but if you make loads of them, it completely takes away all challenge. And what Bandages do is they speed up your regeneration. So for instance, if you've got a guy in front of you and you go to death screen where you're one hit away from dying, if you use a bandage you will be completely healed. They're like an awesome medpack ability that you can get. And you can do this as many times as you want, you're not limited at all. It's kind of crazy, but if you use it correctly, it will make sure that you never die, really, unless you get super unlucky. And that rarely happens. But this is the introduction to the defibrillator, so this guy's going to stab us, and you're going to see the minigame that takes place when you use it. But I've been talking for 4 minutes here, and I haven't even described why this game is remotely challenging. The reason this game is bad is there are no checkpoints. And I wish there were, actually. That's the thing that I hate most about this game. For some reason, id Software have decided to completely go a different way with it, and I could understand if they were focusing it to a PC game, if this was only going to be on the PC, but it isn't. It's a console game as well, so this is preposterous to me. Because on a PC, you can press the F5 key, and it will quick save. You don't have to go to a menu, you don't have to click anything, you don't have to do anything, you don't even have to wait. It does it automatically, it's very quick, Brilliant. On a console, you have to go to the pause menu, you have to go to save, you have to select your file, you have to wait 5 minutes while it saves, then you come out of the menu, back to the game. And that's what you're going to be doing for the majority of this game. You can save at any point, and you are not penalised for doing it. When you reload, you will be from that exact spot. The only other time that the game will save for you is if you see a loading screen when you go between areas. And that means if you do not save, and you play the game for 4 hours and don't hit a loading screen and you die, you will lose 4 hours of gameplay. The sooner you can get into the mentality of saving after every encounter, or saving when you've just done something you thought was quite challenging, the easier the game will be. Only problem with me is I'm a stubborn bastard, so I completely forget to save because this game is easy at times, and then I'll get gang raped by something I didn't see and I'll lose a lot of progress, so you really need to be saving. It's annoying, it's frustrating, it takes far too long to do, but it is the only way to create your own checkpoints. And yeah, here we are anyhow, going through this environment. Make sure you check anything that glows. If you pick it up, you can sell it, as I've mentioned. Ammunition can be kind of scarce on this game. One thing that is interesting and cool, the more side quests you do, the better your character will be. You'll get access to upgrades, you'll get access to new weapons, you'll get access to ammunition and money, and various other means of making your character much more, you know, formidable against these enemies. One of the dangers that this guide is going to pose for me personally, to make it a bit more challenging, and for you if you're going to follow it to the T, is I'm going to be avoiding a lot of the side quests. I'm not going to be doing any of the mini games where you can get easy money. So I'm going to be salvaging and, you know, pretty much playing the game off the ammo that it gives me and the little stuff I can scrap together with the money that I have. And this is not an optimum way of playing the game. It will definitely be a lot more challenging than it should be, but it might make it more interesting and help those people out that get into those situations where they don't have a lot of ammo, they don't have the best weapons, so it could prove to be quite useful in those kind of situations. You will notice these enemies are very fast, they also take far too many shots. It's actually my biggest gripe with this game. I understand it's the hardest difficulty, I understand the enemies should take a beating, but when I'm shooting a dude 5 times with a fucking pistol and the dude is skinny with no armor on, he should be dying. And they don't sometimes. You can even shoot them in the head and they won't die. It's very strange. So do not be liberal with your trigger pulls. Shoot all you want. You'll get ammo, you'll get other stuff, and just make sure they go down, because the enemies on this game have such fantastic animations that they will lay on the floor and shoot you, they will scamper to cover, they will jump over cover, they will do all sorts of acrobatics to try and get you to die. And it can take a little bit to get used to. But it's very cool, it's definitely very cool. The first controversial choice you're going to see me make is you can buy half a binocular, which is going to give this gun a scope, but I hate scoping into stuff because it gets rid of your peripheral vision, so I will not be buying that. I did not like it at all. What I would advise though is when you can get access to the different ammo for this pistol, the Fat Boys and the Fat Mamas, which are two of the most powerful pistol rounds in the game, try and, you know, construct as many as you can, because they can be super useful. A couple of the basic strategies I'm going to be using on the game. I'm never going to use turrets. I think the stationary turrets are useless and pointless. Even when you get the advanced ones, the enemies just knock them over and they become absolutely useless. I will be using the sentry drone. The sentry drone is a boss, he's super useful, and I'm going to construct a bunch of those. I'm not going to be using the toy cars because I absolutely hated that. Didn't like it on Black Ops, don't like it on this. I'm going to be using the wind sticks to some great effect because I absolutely adore it. It is a fantastic way to stun heavies, it's a fantastic way to finish off an enemy when you have to reload. It will save your life, so make sure you use it. And you can actually get wind sticks, or whatever they're called, before this mission if you talk to that lady in your base, but I forgot to do it. I will show it on another video, so don't worry. And that screen right there where you're completely red, if you go into cover and you wait for it to regenerate, you will be fine. If you stay out, you will probably die, because the enemies don't die when you're shooting them, they don't flinch when you shoot them, so they will definitely get a shot off and put you down. The fortunate thing is the defibrillator will save your ass if you play sloppy, but as I've mentioned, I'm going to try not to use it. And there is only one real difficult part of the game, everything else I thought was quite easy, and the only reason that one part is challenging is because you cannot save between it, and that is the Mad TV Bash, where you have to do the 5 challenge rooms in a row. I didn't actually die, but it was pretty tense. And you may notice I've just got an achievement there for doing this area. The reason I've got that achievement is I'm not playing on my Seraphim 17 tag, I'm playing on my other tag. The reason for this is so that the achievement for beating Nightmare pops up at the end, because I've already got it on my first playthrough. But once you come out of the little mini dungeon, you'll come back onto your quad, and all you have to do is drive back to where you came from. And this is a major mechanic in Rage. This is not a sandbox game, this is not an open world game, this is a little hub similar to the subway system in The Darkness or Wolfenstein, and you will move throughout it and go into dungeons through those doors I just passed into. It's kind of similar to Borderlands, but nowhere near as big in scale. And there's a lot of things that this game actually shares with Borderlands, but I'll probably talk about those in another video where I give you my thoughts about it, because I've done nothing but talk strategy in these first two videos, and I'm definitely going to be telling you my feelings, because this is far from a perfect game. It has problems, it has pros, it has cons. Watch this. I pressed the wrong button to get off and did an awesome flip into a building, so talk about badass. But thanks for watching, guys. The rest of the videos are all going to follow the same mission structure, so I hope it's an interesting way of proposing this guide. I couldn't think of a better way to do it, but you take care now.